boy, I tell you. So this morning it was in the 20s. Do I have this all the way up? Yeah, so this morning it was in the 20s. So it was really cold this morning. And it's about almost 5:30 and it's 52 degrees according to my dash. But it's a very chilly 52, okay? And believe it or not, they're talking about snow. And I'm like, no. Hold on, let me put this other earbud in. Yeah. So yeah, they're talking about snow and 52 degrees. I kind of doubt it. Very seriously. Well, how has your day been? You know, it's been a day for me. I'm heading home for now. Let's see. Rustle up some grub. That's what I need to do. I need to eat. I think the last time I ate was this morning, probably 9 o'clock. So I done went a full 8 hours without eating. And I'm just now getting hungry, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. How has your day been? I hope you guys have been having a wonderful day. Everything is good. Everything is as it should be. I hope you guys are praying and staying strong and really trying to be there for one another. Hold on, because I feel like the sound is not on, so I don't hear nothing. Hold on. I'm just not hearing anything. Now I'm just thinking about my last video, not the one that I was just talking, but the one where I was saying about how we bringing in the new year, how people are bringing in the new year. You know, we're 2 weeks in and going into the third week coming up, and I'm hoping everybody is holding strong. There's so much going on right now in the world. You know, it's a lot going on. It's a lot. We really can't afford to be out here doing destructive things to one another. I mean, it's enough that's already destructive that's set in place, you know, for most of us, and we are all being affected by what's happening right now. And you know, in all my years, I never thought, you know, something like this would be something I would have to witness, you know, have to experience. And you know, and yet it's going on. Hold on. I was saying, yet and still with all the things that are going on, you know, there are still people out here trying to still do each other dirty, which is crazy. Because we really need help and being, you know, messed up or jacked up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out here trying to make it. Everybody out here struggling. Everybody, you know, I'm not saying that everybody in the hole. I'm saying we all doing what we got to do to maintain whatever it is that we have, or, you know, where we live, to be able to eat, you know, provide for the household, the children. If it's just you, just to maintain by yourself. You know, we're doing everything that we can out here in this world. And some of us are struggling, you know, We're fighting tooth and nail. We swinging with both arms. You know what I'm saying? And you still got people out here that is trying to do you dirty. Still out here being deceitful and crazy. Still out here scamming. Still out here hating. Still out here being a snake. Still out here just doing all the craziness that they can think of. Wow. Ridiculous. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what your romantic preferences are. Dirty souls. Dirty, low life. Dirty. Just dirty. Out here. The lowest of the low. With all this stuff that's happening, you know, you would think, you know, something was, you know, click somewhere in the minds of some of these people that's out here doing all this scum of the earth type thing. And it's like, nah, they don't really get it. You got people out here still mad. You got people out here still holding grudges. And some people holding grudges and don't have a right to hold a grudge because nobody did anything to them. They're holding a grudge because they didn't get their way. And they're mad at the person that they wanted their way with. Whatever it is that they wanted with or from that person. Yes, people are out here like that. Mad at people because, for example, nobody don't want to, you know, deal with them no more. You know, as I said, they don't F with them no more. They mad about that. They are literally out here mad because you don't want to deal with them no more. You don't talk to them no more. For whatever reason, you decided you're not dealing with it. You're not talking to them. You know, you're not fooling with them. You're not interacting with them. You're not having phone conversations. You're not texting. You're not meeting up like you used to or whatever. Because what I am finding a lot of people are doing right now is they are starting to finally listen to their soul, that inner voice that tells them, you know, they're starting to listen to the part of them that lets them know that, you know, there's some things that you need to do, you need to move away from. There's some things that you really need to let go. Don't just talk about, you know, New Year's resolutions and this is something that you probably should have been doing before the new year and you thought about it throughout last year. And for some people, it became a more prevalent thought the closer to the end of the year and into the new year, you know, it became. And some people actually wait until the new year to put those thoughts into action. And somebody is mad at you for making decisions for yourself that has absolutely nothing to do with them. And I mean, you made a decision for you. And somebody is mad at you for doing that. Like you did something to them for making a decision for you. And it makes absolutely no sense. So what we doing, if you with me, we leaving that nonsense behind. If you're going to make a New Year's resolution, make one of cutting off things and people and situations that are not for your highest good. Your highest good, okay? Your highest good is different than what you think is good for you, okay? It's a big difference, okay? It's what you think is good for you. That's a lot of times we be thinking what's good for us is really not good for us. We find out after we done made the decision. You know what I'm saying? But when we say highest good, no, we talking something totally different. It's no longer what we think is good for us. It's what actually is good for us outside of what we think. Don't say it again. It's no longer what we think is good for us. It is what is good for us outside of what we already think. So it has nothing to do with us, okay? It's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with what we think. Okay? Because what we think and what actually is two different things. Do you understand? So we're moving in, there's a lot of us, not everybody, because there's going to still be some that's still going to be in that low vibrational thinking, you know, that manipulation. It's going to be still some that want to be deceitful. It's going to still be some that want to be a liar, still be a thief, still be a scammer, still be fake, and still be a pretender, and still be acting, and still be doing all of this stuff that really is what we call low vibrational. They're still going to be on that. They still going to be on this. They still going to be this. They still going to be that. They still going to be out here in these streets. They still going to be sleeping with everybody and anybody. They still going to just be out here dropping it, whatever, like it's hot. They still going to be out here just going and running themselves into the ground. And they still going to be mad at you because you're not. They still going to be hating on you because you're not. They still going to be that way because you're not. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to be mad at you because you don't participate. And never mind whether or not you approve, it's the fact that you don't do it. Because they don't know if you approve of it or not. They assume you don't because you don't do it. But the very simple fact that you don't do all that low vibrational stuff is going to be the reason why they hate you. You're going to get a lot of hateful vibes and behavior from people simply because you're not like them. You're not out here running in these streets. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even say nothing about them running in the streets. You don't have an opinion about that. You pretty much sit back and say, y'all do what y'all want to do. If that's what you want to do, you want to run the street, go run the streets. You want to be out here, you know, doing any and everybody, that's your business. Go ahead and do that. Me, on the other hand, I'm not. And simply because you chose not to go out there and do it, they mad at you. They hate you for that. And they smiling in your... These are people that covertly do what I'm talking about out here in these streets. When I say covertly, it's behind closed doors. It's not all out in the open. And they hate you for that. Because you just simply decided you're not. You're the opposite of them. And they had a problem with that. Now, I talk about that because I know, I know that I got, and you do too, you just don't know it. I have some enemies that it's really crazy because why would I have enemies? But you didn't choose your enemy. If you didn't do anything, they chose you to be your energy. Your enemy. You a lot of times have ops and don't even know that they're your op. An op could be your best friend. An op can be a family member. An op can be a coworker. Yep, an op could be one of the neighbors in your apartment building, or one of your neighbors in the neighborhood, in the house. Somebody you speak to on a daily basis. Your op could be your partner. Your op could be your husband. Your op could be your wife. Your op could be whoever your significant other is. That can be your op, and you don't even know that's your op. You seen the movie or heard of the movie, and you've heard the phrase sleeping with the enemy. You laying next to the op and don't even know it. That's your op. They secretly don't like you. And they are pretending as though they like you and even love you. and they don't, you know. And these are self-made enemies of yours, and you've done nothing towards them, and they have decided to be your enemy covertly. Which is really crazy when you think about it, because it's like, so you're going to put all this energy into being my enemy, and you can't name one thing that I've done to you that would justify you doing that. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, these are people that don't need an excuse. You know, you've ever heard your parents tell you when you was coming up, you know, everybody ain't gotta like you. You love yourself. I know you've heard that before. You know, you quit trying to be everybody's friend, because everybody is not your friend. I used to tell my kids that everybody is not your friend. You know what I'm saying? You be your own best friend. And simply because it rings true even as an adult. That's why you have all these situations where a lot of people are surprised when their relationships that was once so lovey-dovey suddenly turn domestic violence. And when I say abuse, when abuse comes into play, we're talking about verbal abuse. And it starts with little microaggressions, you know, little slick little stuff that they say to you, and you catch them looking at you sideways a lot of times because they want to say something because they got a problem with you, and you just been yourself. You're the same person you've always been. You haven't changed. You haven't done anything different. You still love them as hard as you've been loving them or whatever, and they still side-eyeing you, and you know, because they secretly are starting to not like you for whatever reason. You know, it could be simply because, you know, you just different. And some people don't like different, you know what I mean? They don't like people that are different than what they're used to. They don't like people that are different than those they've been hanging around or clicked up with. You know, they don't like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't like the fact that you not with the rest of the group. You're not a groupie. You don't do the things that, like they have a problem with people being different. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a problem with people doing different things than what they do. Like they're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be a part of what they're doing. You're supposed to think like they do. You're supposed to see things the way they do. You're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to be the different, than those that they've been dealing with. Yet they want to deal with you simply because you are different. So they're interested in hanging with you and being around you and, just to see how different you really are, you know what I'm saying? Until it gets to a point to where they get offended by you being different. Now, you didn't do anything to offend them. You just was being yourself. And being yourself, you're being different. And in being different, it's the opposite of what they are. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, for example, since I've been talking about this on this video and other videos that I've been talking about it on. If you're the type, let's say, hold on. If you're the type that, let's say, for example, you're a Christian, you go to church, you're a hardcore Christian. You believe that you shouldn't drink, you shouldn't smoke, you don't go party, you don't smoke weed, you don't smoke cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? You believe in being a pure Christian. You believe in not just having the word preached to you or preaching it yourself. You live it daily, in and out of your life at all times. You're a hardcore Christian. Then you got those that are not Christians that you get around that look at you, mock you, make fun of you, and make you feel like something is wrong with you for being a Christian. They call you a goody two-shoes because you're a Christian or whatever it is. And I'm just using this as an example because it don't have to just be a Christian. And they make fun of you. They get irritated because when you come around, they get offended by you just coming around because they know what you stand for. Do you understand what I'm saying? They know what you stand for. They know what Christianity is all about. They know enough about it to know that you for real with your faith. You know what I'm saying? And what you believe or what have you. And they know that when you come around, they're gonna feel what's the word? Uncomfortable around you, because certain things they know that you don't do, so they're not about to do it. You know what I'm saying? Around you, but they want to do it. They want to be themselves, and they feel uncomfortable doing it around you because they feel like you're good at two shoes. You don't do that anyway. I can't do what I want to do while around you. You know what I'm saying? And they secretly do not like you. Now, that's just an example of religion. That's what I'm talking about. But it's like that, whether it's religion or not. If you've decided and you have a standard that is high, you have a high standard about yourself. So you have set boundaries of certain things that you just don't get into. Now, you may have gotten into them before, but like I said, you've made some decisions to elevate. You've made some decisions to change some things about yourself. You know, how you think, how you see things, how you do things, who you're going to be around, what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. Even when you're by yourself, these are standards that you have given yourself because you want to do better. Okay, we'll make it easy so you can understand. So you decided, I want to do things better for myself. I want to be a better person. I want to elevate my thinking, which is going to change my decisions, and my decisions are not going to be the same decisions I had before when I was down here. So I want to be up here. So it's going to require me to make some changes. And if my desire to be up here is really strong and change and do these things, then I'm going to drop those things that's down there. I got to give those up because it's got to be an even exchange, because in order to get up here, you got to leave down here. Or if you want to go to the left, you got to not go to the right. So it's give and take, up, down, left, right, this way, leave that way, because you can't do both at the same time. It's what I'm saying. So you have to make a decision of what you're going to do and why you're going to do it. There's no need of making a decision if it doesn't make sense to make this. Like, why are you doing it? Why, if you decide to stay down here, what's the why? And if you decide to be up here and elevate, why? Why? What does it mean for you to make the decision either way? What does it mean for you on a personal level? What are you looking to get out of staying there or elevating? You know what I'm saying? If you're down here and you haven't elevated yet, what has being low vibrational done for you? Did it make you happy? Did it bring you joy? Did it bring you peace? Did it bring you and your family closer together to where there's loving care and kindness? And did all of that happen just by doing these low vibrational things? What's low vibrational things? For example, did it benefit you to lie, cheat, steal? Are you closer to your family? Did it bring more love into your life to be that type of person? Did it benefit you? Did it benefit your family? When I say benefit your family, I'm not talking monetarily, because I know a lot of people's mind, that's where it went. They started thinking monetarily. That's not what I'm saying. And this is how you know where you are on this, if you want to call it a scale. If the first thing you thought when I said benefit was money, baby, you down here. Because everybody knows, no matter where you are on the scale, up, down, left, right, whatever it is, we all gotta have some money. Okay? So I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about carnal things. I'm not talking about material things. Now, it's going to force you to think. What am I talking about? Think about it. So let's go run it back. Did being down here help you? Did it do anything for you outside of money? monetarily outside of materialistic things? Did it do the job, so to speak? Because we all are getting older, and we got to stop looking at things as just objects. And that just brought me to a thought. Do you know that there are people that look at other people as just objects to be used? That's how they look at people. You're something to be used. They don't really look at you as a person. They know that you're human. They know all that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you're an object to be used. Everything, there are people that think that everything, including people, are to be used. That's all they think. And if they can pretend to love you and it gets them what they want, which is to use you to get what they want, then they're gonna put on a show. Then that brings me back to them being your op. Because the show, the pretend, is to be somebody that they're not to you. So you're thinking that they care for you and that they love you and they really want the best for you. And in their eyes, you're somebody or something to be used to get what they want. And when they get what they want, because they don't look at you as a person and they don't ascribe any value to you, when they get what they want, you are discarded. You're just a thing. Almost like a car is to be used to get you from point A to point B, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing. It's just a car. The only value you put on that car as long as it gets you around. Okay? When it comes to people, those other people that look at people the way I'm talking about, you are to be used like a car to get somebody from point A to point B. It's something that they want. When they get it, you're going to get parked like a car. Until the next time they get to use you. Like a car. Until the car breaks down. Then it stays parked. Now you're no use. Until you don't have anything else to offer, they can't get anything out of you, they're going to park you like the car. And find other means of transportation, if you want to call it that. You say, how do you know this type of stuff? Well, what makes you say that? And I know this ain't nothing new for a lot of people. Well, because there are people out there that do that, and because it happened to me. That's how I know. It happened to me. So none of us is exempt from this happening, but when it does happen, learn the lesson. We're learning. We're growing. We're trying to move forward. We're trying to get out of certain ways we used to think and be. Sometimes we don't know we're being used, and then sometimes we do, and we stay. We give the benefit of the doubt, knowing time and time again that they've shown you who they are. And as long as you stay, they're going to continue to use you. Because in their minds, it's like, well, you're not going nowhere. It must be okay. People really think like that. They must be okay with it. Knowing that you're not, because you're voicing your opinion about it, but you still ain't left. So no matter what you say, it's what you do. So if you can complain about it, trying to get somebody to change, but you keep staying, for those that have that backwards crazy thinking, they're going to feel like you're just talking because you're still here. So I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. But until you leave, they can't hear you. They're not really thinking about what you're saying. It's in one ear and right out the other. So make them a believer. We got to do things differently this year. We got to do things differently. We have to grow. We got to get beyond fear. We got to go beyond what we're used to doing. We got to quit laying down and allowing people to do stuff that's men and women alike. We have to stop that, because women do it too. They use men. Both should be ashamed of themselves, but hey, we're in our 50s right now, and I've experienced it in my 50s, have somebody do that to me. And it just blew my mind that people are that callous and retarded that's what they own. I just be, when I look back and I think about it, it's like, being used, it's not a good feeling when you know that's what's going on. It's not. You be feeling like you stuck, but you're not. So instead of talking, you're going to have to make a move. You want it to stop. Anyway, we want to elevate. We want to move forward. There's too much going on in the world itself that's affecting everybody, for us to be sitting back in our own little bubble, our own little personal world, our own personal space, having somebody personal to us doing some really crazy stuff to us that we can control and stop if we wanted to. Some things you can see a mile away, and some things we choose to ignore. Like them red flags be like waving in your face. Like the guy outside at the airport that's directing the plane to where it needs to be. And he's go this way and all of that. Them red flags be in your face like that, and we be looking everywhere except at the red flag. We're moving forward. We're moving. We're growing. We're doing things differently. We're loving our families. We're connecting with those that want to connect with us. And we have a standard. And if they're not on those standards and up to that level where you want them to be, you're finding it within yourself to cut it off and being okay with that. You're growing to the point to where you can say no. You're not wasting your time anymore on stuff that is not going to help you grow. It's not good for you. You're kicking out stress. People that stress you. You're moving past those people. No matter how long you've known them, you're making, you have standards, and they're going to have to abide by your standards. You're not going to allow it to happen anymore. We're growing. We don't need it. The stress on our spirits, the stress on our minds, the stress of trying to maintain something that's really not good for us. We're doing it because we're nice people. We're good people. We're done being taken advantage of and being used. We're saying no. And even in those circles, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to end this, even in those circles where, it's groups of people and all of them low vibrational, so even some of them is waking up. Because they're getting done dirty by people in the group. They suspect it. Yes, it's exactly what you're seeing. Believe it. Seeing is believing. No matter what they say. Yes, this is what you see. So even people that's in those groups that have committed as a group to do low vibrational things are starting to wake up to the fact that it's a snake in the group. A couple of them. So, and even some of them, not just noticing the snakes in the group, they're changing to the point that they want better. They're tired. This world will make you tired. I don't care what end of the spectrum you on. This world gonna make you tired. You're gonna get tired of stuff. And then that's when you're gonna start making some changes. You're not gonna care what nobody say. You're not gonna be afraid anymore. It's what I want. It's not what you want. It's my life, not yours. And this is when you start making decisions and having boundaries, even in the clique. And this is just my thoughts. You don't have to agree with it. And it's okay if you don't. I'm not going to get mad. If it don't apply, let it fly. That's what I say. And so, with that, I bid you adieu. It's getting dark and I'm still sitting in the car. Peace, love, and light. We'll talk soon.